Tell me what's on your mind.
Hey there, this is Cooper from Telepathic Bunny Comics, and the show is How to Write Comics Good. Not well, because well is a hole in the ground from which you draw water. Good is the opposite of bad. Today, we're going to start a new series. It's called CharacterAutopsy. And our first candidate on the slab is John Proudstar, otherwise known as Thunderbird. What makes Thunderbird cool? Well, partly his costume. Look at this thing. Even with the fringe, it's so cool. As you got the red and the blue, and the red goes up into the chest, into the Thunderbird. And then you got this cool belt here. Very Indian. And more, well, I think it's more Navajo than it is Apache, but I digress. And then you got these bands here. You got the headband and the domino. Later on, the Mortal Kombat guys, I think his name was Thunderwolf, but they pretty much stole this. John Proudstar, his background, his origin. He was an Apache from Camp Verde, Arizona, I guess a reservation. As a teenager, he discovered he had the mutant abilities, superhuman senses, strength, speed, stamina, and sturdiness. Drafted into the U.S. Marine Corps in the Vietnam War, earned the rank of corporal, returned to his tribe of broken men after the war, unhappy and listless. He was recruited by Charles Xavier to join the third group of X-Men, which included Wolverine, Storm, Colossus, Nightcrawler, and Sunfire temporarily. And it was a really good group of varied characters. But Thunderbird, he was added in, but he never really gelled with the group. Mainly because why would you need Thunderbird and his abilities when you had Wolverine, you know? And that was a big problem for the character, because Wolverine did everything that he does, but he did it better. And he had adamantium skeleton and claws. I mean, how do you compete with that? No one ever has. But anyway, so he's on this team, and he's an Apache. What does it mean to be an Apache? Well, it was an inspired choice to make him Apache because the Apaches were the kamikaze of the Indian world. They were these aggressive fighters. They were probably more terrifying than the Sioux. The Sioux Indians, they had war parties. They basically fought in like an army. Then the Comanches were like the ninja of the Indian world. They came out of their hills in hiding places to fight, and then went immediately back. Geronimo was the Comanche leader. But the Apaches, they were just aggressive. And they were very intelligently aggressive. But they are also ancestor worshippers. And they believed they had this overriding need to prove something to their ancestors. And so they would do incredibly terrifying things. And they had no sense of self-preservation. So making Thunderbird an Apache was really an inspired choice. And so after the weeks of training and all the conflict that arose from that, the first mission to Krakoa, where he was basically an afterthought, he went with the X-Men to Valhalla base in Colorado to combat Count Nefaria and the Animan. The Animan were like his forced mutations. You can read it. But anyway, Nefaria tries to escape, and Thunderbird jumps onto the Harrier jump jet, which he was trying to escape in, and tried to get it to land by damaging it enough to make Nefaria to land it. He went too far. And there's this really cool panel. Well, it's not cool, but it's heart-wrenching. Where Xavier refuses to break contact with him. So when it exploded and he died in the flames, Xavier felt it. And there was this cool story that happened after that. This was back before comic book writers got lazy, where characters actually carried damage into the next comic. And Xavier was not all right for a while. The group was not all right for a while. He was remembered in the comic book series for a long time after. But his body disappears from where he's supposed to be buried. And Wolverine goes to track it, and they follow Wolverine. And there's this moment where, they're talking about John Proudstar, and storm goes overhead because they're all hot. It's Arizona. They're all burning up in the summer, or in the heat. I don't know what time of year it was. But she creates this light rain overhead. And just this moment where they're all like enjoying the rain, and Xavier says, "Bless her," And it's this bonding moment. It turns out that John's brother stole his body to burn it in the way of their ancestors, which was how John would have wanted it. And James later on becomes Thunderbird 2, and then changes his name to Warpath when he joined X-Force. And became Warpath that we know today. Well, why is John Proudstar still talked about? Why is he such an important character? Why are we still seeing people doing art about him? Well, it's not only the cool costume, but it represents a character who lived by his own set of rules, and his own eternal logic, and he died by those set of rules and that eternal logic. It was a complete character arc. He really couldn't have continued on with the X-Men. And there was finality when he died. That he went out doing what he wanted to do. And he went out the way he wanted to go. And you really can't get better than that. So, R.I.P. John Proudstar. You did your people proud. And that is Cooper from Telepathic Bunny Comics. And this has been Character Autopsy. Hope you enjoy the new series. Y'all have a nice day.
Tell me what's on your mind.